I got a call this morning from AAA. AAA is a car insurance company. Car insurance is something that you pay for because you have to for some reason. When you become an adult and you attempt to live in society, every single aspect of being alive costs between $100 and $1,000 to $2,000. Every single thing. And the older that you get, the more things keep being added. So you work like a dog all month so that you can afford every single hand that's sticking out in your face saying, you have to pay this because otherwise you won't have car insurance because you need car insurance to drive, and you need car insurance because you have to drive a car and you have to go to your job and you have to do all this stuff. And please, if you're thinking at this point, well, you don't have to have car insurance. If you want to drive a car, then you have to get insurance because that's your decision. No, it isn't. No, it's not my decision because I live in a city that is car dependent. I live in a country that is car dependent. So don't be fucking cute and say that I should take the Los Angeles Metro. Spare me. Got a call this morning from AAA law enforcement. Or fucking goddamn it. From AAA, I don't even know from AAA car insurance. AAA car insurance. And they said, Mr. Henschel, there's a problem. Another thing about being an adult is that you have something called a cell phone. On your cell phone, you get about 100 calls a week that are complete gibberish nonsense from a basement in Malaysia. You get 100 phone calls a week from random series of numbers. If you answer the phone call, you will hear complete silence. You also get one phone call a week that if you don't pick it up, it will ruin your life. So somewhere in there is an extremely important phone call. The same thing happens with your mail. Every week, you get 1,000 fucking pieces of trash. And one very, very important letter that if you don't answer, you go to jail. This morning, I got one of those phone calls in the magic grab bag. And I picked it up. It was AAA. And they said, Mr. Henschel, unfortunately, it seems that there was a lapse in your coverage because you switched your driver's license. You had a Maryland driver's license, and then you got a California driver's license. And you need to give us your California driver's license information now. Otherwise, you don't get to have car insurance. And if you drive your car, you can go to jail. So I said, okay. Keep in mind also, the thing that really bothers me about all these people, car insurance, credit card, landlords, fucking everybody, the utility company, the water company, they all speak to you as though you are voluntarily doing this, as though they are doing you a favor. I don't want to pay for any of this shit. I don't want to do any of this. I didn't ask to do any of this at all. I didn't ask for it. I didn't even have to be fucking alive. I don't want to do this. I don't want to pay my car insurance. I don't want car insurance. I don't want to give you my new driver's license. I don't want to fucking do that. But I have to for some fucking reason. Because for some fucking reason, in order to be alive, you have to pay 20 different people $200. And you have to keep reciting random digits of numbers. Everything about being alive is just fucking numbers over and over again. Important numbers for this, important numbers for that. You gotta type in this password, you gotta type in this number, you gotta type in this thing, and if you get it wrong, you're gonna go to jail. I didn't say any of this to the lady, I just said, sure, let me just give you this fucking number so that I can move on with my life and attempt to enjoy anything about anything. Here it is. Click, clack, click, clack, click, clacks for a little while. And then she says, I'm sorry, Mr. Henschel. We can't offer you coverage. So I said, excuse me? Because I've had AAA for 3 fucking years. What's the problem? And she said, well, it appears that you were in an accident about a year ago. And I said, yeah, I was. I was in a fender bender. My one accident that I've had in the past 5 years. I drive because I'm forced to by society. I drive for about 75% of my day, every day. And one fucking time, an old lady cut in front of me going 20 miles per hour on the freeway, and I couldn't slow down in time, and I bumped her in the back of the car. Remember, this is a satire account. And she said, well, it appears that this was a 2-point accident. And I was like, what does that fucking mean? Everything is numbers, remember. Random numbers that mean something for some reason. It was a 2-point accident, and we can only insure you if you have a 1-point accident. So I was like, what does that mean? And she said, well, a 2-point accident is when the person claims injury. So you hit this person, and then apparently she was injured. So I was like, well, how do we know that? I mean, what do you mean she was injured? It was a very, very light accident. And so what if she was injured? Last I checked, the only conceivable point of having car insurance is in case something like this happens. That's what car insurance is supposed to be for, in theory. When you think about if there is any rational reason why you would need to have car insurance, it is for the purpose that if at one point during the 75% of your life that you're in a fucking car, you happen to get in an accident, you're not completely fucked. So why, if I got in one accident, am I fucked anyway? Because the last time that I checked, the reason I was paying for this fucking shit, $200 a month, $300 a month, was in case anything happened, right? So then why, if something happens, then am I not allowed to have the insurance that I fucking paid for in case something happened? Why did I bother then? What are you for? Are you just a fucking mafia that you come to collect your $200 every fucking month? And if I need to use your service for anything, then I'm totally fucked because then I can't renew your stupid fucking insurance. And I said, so I didn't say any of this. I just said very politely, well, I was kind of stunned for a minute because all of that was going through my head. And I said, well, what are my options then? And she said, well, now you can't be insured by AAA, so we work with another agency who blah, 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 and then we'll call this person, and they'll call you, and then you call them, and then they'll give you the numbers, and then you give them the numbers, and then you'll have to pay a much bigger number than you were already paying before. The point I'm trying to illustrate here is, what the fuck? I didn't ask for any of this. I, this morning, woke up and I said, God fucking damn it. I just need a fucking win. I just need one thing. Just one thing. Please, God. I don't believe in God. But I said a prayer last night. I said, God, can you please just let one good thing happen tomorrow? Because I gotta be honest here. I'm paying all these random corporations my entire paycheck. And I can't figure out why. I don't want to, but I have to. I have to pay rent. I have to pay my bullshit. Why? I'm waiting for the guy to call me back that's at the other insurance company, so that I won't be in legal trouble for driving my car. And he hasn't called me, so. I don't get it, because I guess my honest question is, what is supposed to be the good part of this? You know, is that just a question that everybody is too stupid to ask? Is that just a question that doesn't occur to most people who don't have mental health problems? Or is that a question that they just don't think about? What is supposed to be the fucking point? Why am I doing all of this? Nobody could tell me that at any point in my childhood. When I was in high school, when I was in school, and they were saying you have to get this grade so that you can get into a good college and you can get money to go to a good college, and if you go to college so you can get a job, and this is why you have to do all of these things that you don't want to do and that don't make any sense and that suck. And that is why you cannot enjoy a single second of your life, because if you do now, you won't be able to do all of these different things. And the question that I had over and over again to everybody in my life was, why? Why the fuck would I do any of that? Why do I want to do any of that? Why? What is the purpose of doing any of that? And nobody could ever give me a straight fucking answer. They would just be like, well, because you have to do that. But nobody could at any point ever tell me what the fuck was in it for me. So I didn't do it. Because I dared to ask the question, why? Don't you hate doing all of this? Why are you totally fine with all of this? Is it because you're fucking stupid? Because that's what I'm left to assume. Is it because you were too stupid to ask that question when you still had a chance to change your life? And now the fact that I am asking it is raising something inside you that you have tried to suppress so hard, because if it arises at all, you're gonna fucking kill yourself? Is that it? Because I bothered to ask why. They call me a spoiled brat. They called me entitled. And the whole time I sort of was wondering, let me remind you of something. I didn't ask to be born. I've said that in a lot of videos because it's something that I think is another question that most people don't ever consider. You are telling me all of this stuff that I have to do as if I wanted to do it in the first place. You're telling me all of this as if I should be grateful for the opportunity to do it. I'm not. Okay? If you had asked me, if at some point when I was floating around in the ether, if you had asked me, would you like to be siphoned into a human body so that you can experience what it is like to live in a bureaucratic nightmare society? The good parts will be fucking, drinking, doing drugs, falling in love, but even that gets bad eventually. Having kids if you decide that you're so bored. And that's it. You know, your relations, yeah. I would have said no. I'm perfectly happy floating around in this ether here, this little ball of gas. I'm good. But I didn't have a choice because my fucking, no offense, but I am the product of somebody's boredom. The reason that I was created was because I was something to do. I was something to fill the time. I was the lazy answer to that question for somebody else. And now I am expected to perpetuate that cycle of abuse and usage. Well, I'm not going to. That's why I'm not having kids. We got enough. I'll figure something else out to do with my time. Still nothing. Well, I'll tell you this. Thank God this doesn't last forever. And thank God it doesn't make a fucking difference. Thank God. I never understood people who were afraid of death because for me, that's my why. The only answer to the questions that I've raised in this video that I've been able to come up with is because I'm going to die. It doesn't matter. Fine. Fine. I'll get to go back to the ether, the floating cloud where I was before I was born. And I don't remember that. So, fine. Maybe I'll even get reincarnated as a bougainvillea. Wouldn't that be nice? Although I hope it's not my bougainvillea that I got from the Home Depot, because I killed that thing in a month. Alright, I'm sick of this crap. See you later.